High school sports fans, are you following Varsity Media on our YouTube channel? For the best coverage of New York high school sports, make sure you head to youtube.com/Varsity Media. 3 easy steps. First, hit that like button, and then be sure to subscribe. And finally, tap that yellow bell to be notified of all of our upcoming sportscasts. Thank you for following Varsity Media on YouTube. Hey Mom and Dad, how about a personalized hype video of your athlete produced by Varsity Media? Cinematic coverage of game action, plus on-camera interviews by our crew set to music will make your son or daughter look like the next superstar. Perfect for social media fame and college recruiting. Don't wait, reach out today. Spots are limited this fall. 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Hey sports fans, did you know Varsity Media live stream broadcasts get viewed by college coaches nationwide? Through our announcers' storytelling and insight on your athletes, we can help your players get an edge on college recruiting. Find out how by reaching out to Varsity Media today, 516-403-2050, or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
And we welcome you to Gold Star Stadium for today's New Jersey-New York Battle of the Bridge, the Chaminade Flyers and the Paramus Catholic Paladins. Tim Tomlinson gets set to go and misses the opening kick as the wind comes in, and that's how this game will start. He's Mike Hungerford. I'm John Perez. Thank you so much for making us a part of your Saturday afternoon, and we'd like to extend our welcome to the New Jersey audience for getting their first dose of the Varsity Media Sports Network. And Mike, great matchup here today. Paramus coming off a tough loss last week, a nail-biter in which their head coach, Greg Russo, said that there was a lot to learn, but was happy with their second-half efforts. And for Chaminade, they can't wait to get ready for this game.
Sure, I think Paramus Catholic brings a pretty talented group into town here in Mineola, and we'll see how the Chaminade guys can defend the bevy of skilled players that Paramus Catholic brings to the table.
Of course, one of those guys as well last week who did a fantastic job, their quarterback, wearing number 15. He's actually a New York native and a transfer from Minnesink Valley. That is Drew Colon. Crew Colon, of course, his brother playing at Princeton, and Greg Russo feels that he's the guy that could do the job for Paramus Catholic this year. Paramus Catholic comes in at 2-1. They only won 2 games a year ago. One of those wins against Chaminade. And on first down, throws it into the flat. And the first opportunity for Jaden Johnson, the DePaul transfer, and a couple of flags at that. And a very inauspicious start to this game. We've got a blown-off kickoff and now a flag, multiple flags on the first play.
You can see right away they want to get the ball in their playmaker's hands, right? Motion right out of the backfield. Throw it to him, try to block it up and see what he can get.
And a hold against Paramus Catholic will move them back 5 yards.
It's tough on the edge there with the side judge standing right there. You know, he's right in front of you, right? Got to keep your hands on the inside, and you can probably get some cloth on the inside of those shoulder pads, the inside number, but don't get, especially everyone's wearing gloves, right? You get those different colors on the outside of a shoulder pad, and once it starts to twist, it's hard for not to call that.
Spoke to one of my officiating friends. He said there's holding on every play. It's just a matter of the degree. On second down, the give is to Xavier Williams, the UMass commit, and the future Minuteman charges up ahead. Close to a first down and a gain of 14 for Xavier Williams, who's averaging 11.5 yards per carry. With that said, let's see the starting lineup. Cologne, Williams, Massey, Deli, Constable playing the X today, the tight end Moretta, Manaya, the Miami commit, Beasley, Camacho, Tapia, and Malachi Goodman.
Yeah, you can see Manaya, that left tackle, right? Miami commit. You know, it's off for a treat. He's a pretty talented player. Obviously, if you can commit to an ACC school on the offensive line, and there's a lot of them.
There's a bunch of talent obviously, in New Jersey, and for the Paladins. Manaya, one of them. They've got some other commits as well. We mentioned Williams. We'll see Adrian Lang on the defensive side of the ball. He wears number 5 for Paramus Catholic. Just committed to Temple, and then a bevy of offers coming in. Jaden Dalgetty also just received an offer from Princeton. Princeton taking on San Diego. They have not played a game yet this year, and they'll take on San Diego on the West Coast. 4 o'clock start today. Second and short. Cologne in the backfield. The give to Williams right up the middle, and he gets brought down by the Chaminade front line of Dean Schmidt. Had a Baker's Dozens tackles a year ago, and here is the defense. It's Welsh, Viscardi, Malaire, Knapp, Miller, Schmidt, Cacciola, Marshall, Hanley, Cuomo, and Landra. Mike, we know how good this Chaminade defense could be. I know they gave up 31 points a year ago, but a very intelligent defense, and they'll have to throw everything at Paramus Catholic today as Massey sweeps it far side and a gain of 6. Kenyon Massey, his first running opportunity.
Yeah, on the previous play, I like Knapp right there. They tried to kick him out, and he set the edge real nice and turned it back inside. And even though they had a good down block, Paramus Catholic, Knapp was pretty good in that play. And last week, I was impressed with the Chaminade defense. And even in the loss, they were impressive to me. And I will see them again today against a very good team.
Second and 4, the draw up the middle. It's a first down. Xavier Williams, the gain of 5. Brought down by Nick Cuomo. But move those chains, the Paladins, with a pickup of a first down.
Running that GT right there, bringing both guys around. The modern version of the old Trey. Bringing 2 linemen around, and tough to deal with the linemen of this size. But the Chaminade guys are bending a little bit, but we'll see if they can make a play here.
First and 10 from the 42, and the flat is Massey. Angles his way out of bounds before being chased off by Cuomo for the gain of 2.
Good blitz right there from Chaminade. Dean Schmidt got in there and got to the quarterback just as he was about throwing the ball. He was able to deliver it, but Schmidt was just about a second late, and not a big gain there for the Paladins on first down.
The biggest issue that Kevin Dolan said last week was allowing Iona Prep to continue to move the chains and field position is what really plagued Chaminade. Ball's on the ground. Cologne scoops it up and then is devoured. First contact initiated by Giancarlo Viscardi before the Flyers rally to the football, and a big loss for the Paladins.
2 good downs of football for Chaminade right there. Even though the quarterback dropping, mishandling the snap, they contributed a little bit to it. But you can see on first down, they held them to a short gain, had 2nd and 8, and now we got a 3rd and almost 14. So, I mean, these are the downs where defensively you got to get yourself off the field, right? You got to be able to stop the 3rd down play and not let them get close. If the balls are on the 50, you never know. They may consider going for it. So you got to be able to get off the field right now if you're Chaminade.
Last week, Iona went 6 of 11 on 3rd down. Flushed out of the pocket. Flag is out. Cologne's going to take it himself. Charge up ahead. Another flag is down, and a big-time tackle, Luke Cacciola.
Looks like that's going to be Malachi Goodman, number 71.
Malachi Goodman, one of those fantastic offensive linemen for Paramus Catholic. Anyway, the penalty is against Paramus Catholic, so they'll send out their punting unit. And a good stop for Chaminade. They got a big stop and an interception last week against Iona Prep, but then the Gals took over, looking to build upon that and play a complete defensive game this week against Paramus Catholic. Low snap, but Paramus Catholic gets it off. Marco Green, the sophomore. And scooped up on the near side, John Carroll, the two-sport athlete and the baseball pitcher.
Good job by Carroll fielding that ball because that bounce and that roll, next thing you know, you're going to lose a lot of yardage on the roll. So good job fielding it clean. One thing about playing against it looks like these guys from New Jersey is they still have a lot of team speed. When you try to run east-west, better off trying to get as much north-south as you can as quick as possible.
So Chaminade takes over, led by their offense of Granito, Tully, Brendan Park, Michael Dietrich, James Levelis, and Matt Shemitis, along with Noah Trauma, Cottagio, Rinaldi, Galuccio, and Picarillo. I'll tell you what, as an Italian myself, that sounds like every Sunday dinner to me, at least those types of names. As Tyler Granito, playing in his first varsity game a week ago, and completes his first pass on the near side to John Carroll, scoops up the head in a gain of 3.
Got to, very similar to what the Paladins started, Paramus started with. They kind of threw it out there and said they threw it to the running back, Paramus, but here they threw a quick screen out there. They had the receivers in a stack, try to get a little bit of yards. That's like an extended running play for them right there, right? Like keep it out of the tight part of the box and get 4 yards and put them in a good second down.
Kevin Dolan said Granito's performance last week was really high volume and showed out in spurts. Finished 10 for 23, threw for 172 yards, but 2 interceptions. You had the sack fumble. It was his first opportunity against one of the Titans in the AAA in Iona Prep, but he said that this week of practice he's been focused. And who else is focused but Mr. Jack Tully as well. He picks up a pair, and this should lead to 3rd and 5.
The Paramus offense has been pretty proficient in the first few weeks, scoring quite a bit of points, but they've surrendered some points as well along the way. So we'll see if the Chaminade guys can take advantage of that, or with another week of practice, maybe the Paladins have dialed it in and stiffened a little bit.
Mike, you're a former coach. 88 points in 3 weeks. No bueno.
Nah, not the way you want to live, because it's going to get you eventually. It did last week. It's going to get you eventually along the way. That's for sure.
Tully joining Granito in the backfield. 3rd and 4. And the give to Tully. Up the middle, right into the wall. Justin Tilton, the 4.2 GPA senior linebacker with the tackle. And here come the special teams for the Flyers.
Tully, I think, he had that run right there, and he kind of wound that back kind of quickly. He didn't press the line of scrimmage that much, and Tully inserted himself in there. Tilton inserted himself in there as on the edge there, and he was in the linebacker lane, and didn't give him much room to run.
First punt for Tim Tomlinson. Averaging 39 yards a punt a year ago. Gets it off from the 42. Takes a Flyers bounce. And inside the 30. And a 45-yard punt.
Solid punt right there. A little hit and roll on top of it, get a little more yardage. And so both teams had a chance to handle the ball a little bit and play against each other and maybe get a little feeling out situation and see what both teams are all about.
And we've seen John Carroll involved in the offense as well for Chaminade. Two-sport athlete, was part of a combined no-hitter in Chaminade's playoff victory over St. Dominic over the spring. He and James D'Alessandro, and not an easy feat to do as the Flyers fell to Holy Trinity in the final. Paladins take over from their own 27-yard line. Got 6.5 to play, and the give up the middle. Here's Jaden Johnson, finds a seam across the 40. Flag is out before finally being brought down by John Marshall, the senior from Melville.
Good-looking play at the line of scrimmage for the Paladins right there. Blocked up very nicely.
And they're going to send Paramus Catholic back. And you'd have to imagine when a run like that, most times flags in the backfield will lead to the holding. Could have made an argument for a face mask too, right, as he was being brought down?
I think when they got tangled up when they were brought down, it was pretty close. The fans, the visiting Paramus fans are not very happy right now. But, the players, I've said this on other broadcasts this year, the players have to learn to play the game how it's being officiated. And not every game is officiated exactly the same because different men officiate, groups of men officiate every game. So, different crews officiate every game. So you have to see right now that on the edge, it looks like it's being called very tightly, and they're not giving a lot of room there. So you have to clean it up a little bit if you're Paramus Catholic.
First and 5. Cologne with some time. Floats it, and out of bounds. Johnson, the intended receiver.
Good job. No one opened down the field. Great coverage by Chaminade. The Flyers had everyone defended right there, and Cologne made a smart decision. And the key to that is, was there a receiver in the area? Is anybody around? If the ball's past the line of scrimmage, you're kind of okay. And that's what he was able to do. Past the line of scrimmage.
There's Chaminade's defense giving up 24 points on defense. A week ago, there was a defensive touchdown for Iona Prep in there. But either way, looking to close the windows, lock the doors, and knock off Paramus Catholic and seek revenge from a year ago. James Deli picks up the first down.
You know, here's the game within a game, right? How many players does Chaminade have to commit to the box to defend the Paramus Catholic run? And you know the Coach Russo, a very good offensive mind, is just counting and seeing how many players they're going to take. Chaminade looks a little misaligned right now. They better get lined up correctly.
And the Paladins go quick, play action. Fired, far side, incomplete. Kenyon Massey, the intended receiver. And let's take a look at the offense for the Paladins. We mentioned Cologne, Williams, Massey, a ton of talent, Mike, on this offense. Deli, Constable, we didn't even go to the offensive line. Beasley, Camacho, Tapia, Goodman, and we mentioned it's all about the U. Juan Manaya wearing number 77 in white for the Paladins.
Both tackles are very large people. You know, Division I size people. And Goodman is a very talented junior on the right tackle spot.
2nd and 10 from the 43. Paramus thought that Chaminade jumps. The draw, Jaden Johnson. What a first quarter for Jaden Johnson. In Flyers territory before being shoved out of bounds. A massive pickup of 27 for Johnson.
It was a little subtle, but a great stiff arm there. On that run, just kept the defender off him. He had the ball in his left hand with that right arm, just got him enough to get him off him, and he just kept running through it.
As we take another look, the C just opened up, Mike.
Going fast right now.
As Cologne airs it over the middle, has a man incomplete. James Deli, the intended receiver. And he got a good look. And for Chaminade, a huge sigh of relief.
Yeah, that's the game of the game, though. You know, it's how many, as Chaminade begins to have to devote players to the running game, now you get to a man coverage on the outside, and now with a little play action, it gets a little bit easier to throw the football.
Let's take another look of that run before, Mike, and just a big-time run for Paramus Catholic. They want to establish the ground game.
He pops it through there. He's tough to bring on the ground.
And another flag before the snap. False start will push the Paladins back 5. You know, still a young team, Paramus Catholic. You look at last year, Greg Russo inheriting an 18-game losing streak, got extended to 20. That losing streak got snapped against Chaminade, built some momentum, but he said that this offseason the team really spent a lot of time in the gym, getting better, getting more ready for this season, and it's paying dividends so far. 2 wins in their first 3 weeks, not too shabby.
Not at all. Against very good competition. They had a very tough schedule. And but the offensive line, you know, they have to just get that continuity. Outcome of weeks and time playing together and things of that nature.
2nd and 15. As that Xavier Williams nudging up ahead, goes right into the pile and gets back to the original line of scrimmage. Gain of 5, sets up 3rd and 10.
Run a little counter action right there. The Paladins and, you know, 3rd and long right here. Good down for Chaminade. You got to figure that the Paramus Catholic guys have 2 plays to work with right now, right? And see what they give us. If they're going to try to half the yardage right now or maybe a little more and give themselves the 4th down and try to get it all right now.
Cologne, the rollout. Here comes the blitz. Flips near side, incomplete. Massey, one of the best wide receivers in New Jersey, overshot. Unfortunately, does not have the height advantage that most wide receivers have at his position, and that'll lead to a 4th down for the Paladins.
Ted Cologne's going to see that film. He's going to want that ball back because not only did he float it a little bit, but the rush came that they brought a player off the edge. Chaminade, it was unblocked, but he kind of ran around it, and they were a man short. I thought he could have ran there quite a bit for the 1st down, but decided to throw it. And if you're going to throw that ball, you could put a little tighter throw.
Paladins showing that they were going to go for it. Timeout taken by Chaminade.
That formation, that trips formation, the 3 receivers to the Chaminade side of the field seemed a little unsure how they wanted to approach that defensively. So better get it right on 4th and 10.
With that said, we'll take a quick break here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Hey mom and dad, how about a personalized hype video of your athlete produced by Varsity Media? Cinematic coverage of game action, plus on-camera interviews by our crew set to music will make your son or daughter look like the next superstar. Perfect for social media fame and college recruiting. Don't wait, reach out today. Spots are limited this fall. 516-403-2050 or email Ben at...
Back here on the Varsity Media Sports Network, Paramus Catholic's going to go for it on 4th and 9 on the 26-yard line. Last week, Paramus Catholic missed 3 extra points. Might be out of the range anyway for their normal kicker, Laszlo Harag, the junior. So Cologne, set to pass, darts it over the middle. It's complete. James Deli hauls it in. A big-time pickup, and here come the Paladins.
Good throw under duress. Chaminade would have dialed up a blitz right there and had that edge player on a free run. He delivered that ball, and you just can't give up inside leverage if you're playing against the slot there.
First and goal from the 6. Williams up the middle, nudging to the end zone, touchdown. Xavier Williams from 6 yards out picks up his 7th touchdown of the year, and the Paladins strike first.
Good last couple plays from Paramus Catholic. They got the skinny post right there for the first down, and they got up over the ball pretty quick. Didn't let Chaminade really substitute, and then they got a running play and they run it in the end zone. You can see he just got over the top there.
Paramus Catholic ready for the extra point. This is Max Feinstein, the junior. And the kick is good. So a 7-0 lead for Paramus Catholic, and controlling the trenches, even though there were a few penalties in there, Mike. Their end goal, the end zone, they get there.
Yeah, to Paramus' credit, they've overcome several penalties so far, and they're able to make it on 4th down. And if you're Chaminade, you're not very, it's tough. You're on 4th and 10. You got to get a stop there.
With that said, we'll take a quick break here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
High school sports fans, are you following Varsity Media on our YouTube channel? For the best coverage of New York high school sports, make sure you head to youtube.com/varsitymedia. 3 easy steps. First, hit that like button, and then be sure to subscribe. And finally, tap that yellow bell to be notified of all of our upcoming sportscasts. Thank you for following Varsity Media on YouTube.
A 7-0 lead for the Paramus Catholic Paladins on the road, making the trip from North Jersey. Only 55 minutes to get to Mineola. Of course, that's aided by the holiday and a flag beforehand, and another penalty on special teams for the Paladins.
Could be offsides on the kickoff, moving back a little bit. Big pickup by Paramus on the last drive on that 4th down and almost 10, right? Finding Massey there on the post, the skinny post there. But Massey makes up for lacks in height. He makes up for in good moves there, right? Getting free up to the inside, getting on inside of his defender.
And between him, Williams, and James Deli, you can't think of 3 faster wide receivers. Of course, their 2 sport athletes are also on the track and field team as well, so that certainly helps for Paramus Catholic, who's looking to take the next step in New Jersey this year. Kick goes off without a flag, and picked up on the far side as Chaminade will set up shop at the 35-yard line.
Good starting field position for the Chaminade offense. I always say if you could get, you could get north of the 30-yard line when you're starting a drive, you're in a pretty good spot.
There's Xavier Williams, and on that first drive, 5 rushes, 37 yards, and a TD, making his presence felt for Paramus Catholic. So now, Mike, when you've got a young team like Chaminade, it's not really about getting punched. It's about how you respond to it, and Paramus draws first blood and an opportunity for Chaminade and Tyler Granito back in the gun. Swings it near side and overshoots his target, and Matt Chaminade.
That's a long throw. Throwing from one hash all the way beyond the other hash, and the ball's on the wrong side of the receiver. It's just a long throw. If he's going to throw that, I'd like to see a little more, motion stepping into it and really hammer that thing to his target. Problem here is if you Chaminade, it's very tough to go 3 and out. You just stop the clock on an incompletion. Your defense is over there trying to go over a few things. You want to try to keep them off the field for a little while because it's a beautiful day here, but it's warm on the field, and it's going to wear on the defense if they have to go right back out on the field in 4 plays.
And Tyler Granito, one of the things about him coming in was, how do you replace Matt Dieguez? Well, you don't do it in 1 week, but his arm strength is really what set him apart. How about Jack Tully weaving his way for the first down and into Paladin territory to the 35 and angling out of bounds. And a big-time pickup for Captain Jack Tully on the 34-yard gain.
That was a really great cut by Tully right there, and an excellent downfield block by Lavellis. Got him about 15 more. You can see he cut that one back a little bit. What a great-looking run right there by Tully. Had foot in the ground. All the defenders were putting the spin cycle a little bit. And then you got to talk about the downfield blocking. You see Lavellis downfield blocking it up.
And
good
how about
stuff.
this high-flying offense, too? There's Tully. Nick Rinaldi doing a good job, too. The big-time center and captain for the Flyers as well. And, Mike, you need those guys in the trenches if you want to win championships. And Chaminade has aspirations for that. 1st and 10 from the 33. Chaminade goes in motion. The give to Tully. Swallowed up. Makai Moore, the first Paladin to make contact before being brought down by Paramus' defense.
Good scrape and fill right there by Makai Moore. Unblocked. When you're unblocked, get to the football and make the play.
That was Darian Johnson in there as well, a sophomore. Asked to do a lot in his sophomore campaign, and it's paid dividends for the Paladins.
That run right there just flipped the field in Chaminade's favor. They're inside the 40. Try to keep this drive going here if you're the Flyers.
3 receivers up top. Granito looks that way, goes to the flat. It's Tully again. Evades 2 tacklers, and then the Paladins rally to the ball carrier after Tully picks up 5.
Good first move by Tully, getting free to the first defender. And Paramus, a great job of rallying to the football there with 3 hats, getting on it, holding him to a 4-yard gain. So you have 3rd and 6 if you're Chaminade.
That's been the creed for Paramus Catholic this year, was execute those gang tackles and don't give up if that first open field tackle is missed. And there's a prime example, as this will set up 3rd and 5 for the Flyers.
Sure, pursuit is a major part of playing very good defense in football, and you got to pursue the football. You can't stack up on another player's jersey. You got to net the football and trap it.
Paramus loads the box. Granito, pump fake, swings it, and it's incomplete. James Lelevis couldn't haul it in.
Low ball, Lavellis went down for it, just couldn't come up with it on that low ball.
And this will bring out the kicking unit, as this will bring up Tim Tomlinson, the kicker for Chaminade. And what a story for Tomlinson. A year ago, 7 for 12 from field goals, but Dolan says if there's a hush behind him, we're fine having him kick it from 40 yards and inside. This will be from the 30-yard line, sets up the 47-yard field goal as Chaminade looks to break the seal and get on the board. Kick is up, well on the way. It's got the distance, no good. Off to the right for Tim Tomlinson, and the Flyers come up empty.
Tomlinson with a strong leg right there. He had plenty of distance on it. He just didn't have the accuracy, and that's an impressive-looking kick in terms of leg strength, but just got to squeeze it between those yellow pipes and get it in there.
Tomlinson with interest from Ohio State, Penn State, Rutgers, Tennessee, Wake Forest, UConn. You know, it's always interesting to see how colleges recruit their special teams, particularly their kickers, especially with the transfer portal. And, you know, there's only so many scholarships out there as well. You can see Tomlinson's got the ability. It's just a matter of the accuracy, but he's going to make some program happy in the future.
Sure, those kickers and punters and snappers, they go to their own little world, their own little combines, and they get timed and yardage, and the college coaches know all about that stuff.
Cologne, the handoff again. This is Jaden Johnson still on his feet to the 40, past the 50, and skips out of bounds after the huge pickup of 35.
Great run right there, and they had it blocked up well at the point of attack. And this is where, Chaminade's being challenged right here in the running game in the box. Hat on a hat, man in a man, got to get off blocks, and you have to have an effort run support player when you can.
Here's a sweep of the far side. Johnson again. Hanley tries to close it out, and he goes back to the official line of scrimmage. Mike, here's one thing that we haven't seen, and you take a look at the numbers for the quarterback, Crew Cologne, who's been fantastic for the Paladins this year, 6 TDs as well. You were on some games. I watched the Del Barton St. Anthony's game. Maybe it's just me. I don't think these Long Island teams, and of course a lot of it has to do with the lack of practice time, they're not ready for this up-tempo offense that New Jersey's been practicing for a month already.
Sure, they have a little bit more time. It's just not, and things aren't necessarily equal. Oh.
Massey with the reception, gets a block inside the 20 as Chaminade pushes out of bounds. Nick Cuomo with the tackle, but a big-time pickup inside the 10, the pickup of 37 for the Paladins. Let's take another look at that run on the play before.
He got it all blocked up, and it's but Deli right there on the passing play, what a job just getting in the way, just not fouling.
Up the gut.
Whenever there's a big run in football, there has to be some downfield blocking involved, and some good downfield blocking. And that red Deli, he could have blocked him in the back right there. There was a spin. Right. He could have put his hands on his back and fouled him, pushing the back. Ball would have came back. Stage just kind of got in the way and put his hands up, and that's all you need sometimes.
2nd and goal from the 8. 70 seconds and rolling. And the hard count from Cologne. Mentioned Cologne, the transfer from Minnesink Valley, now playing with the big boys in the Garden State. Here's Johnson. He's playing like a man, but so is Dean Schmidt, laying the wood and stopping Paramus on 2nd down.
Good job by Schmidt. Find that back, came in the back door a little bit there, and as the blocker went past, found that lane that wasn't sealed off and got through and made the play in the backfield.
35 seconds to go in the opening quarter. 7-0 lead for Paramus Catholic. Play action, far side. It's Williams. He's got another touchdown. It's the Xavier Williams show in the first quarter. Both TDs, this time from 7 yards out, and Paramus Catholic goes up a baker's dozen.
You're right there. I mean, Chaminade's got to play defense with the right number of people, and people know where to go, but it's just a matter of speed, ball delivery down by the goal line, and in man coverage right there, it's hard to stay with Williams, and he's able to turn up and score.
What a good start for Paramus Catholic, who has traveled on the road to Chaminade and lead it 13-0. The extra point is blocked. Big Seamus Miller, one of the captains, trying to propel his team back into this contest and hoping to build upon that blocked field goal.
It would have been nice for Chaminade to get out of that quarter only down 1 score, but he missed the field goal, gave him just enough time, a couple big plays later, and Paramus Catholic scores again. But the Chaminade guys are going to keep playing, block the extra point, and I think if you're Paramus Catholic, the operation's got to get sped up a little bit. The snap, the hold is a little slow.
Xavier Williams, a couple of TDs in the opening quarter for Paramus Catholic. And one of the good things about the Paladins and their depth, Mike, is that it could be Williams today, could be Massey next week, could be Adrian Lang, could be Makai Moore on defense, those types of guys. There's a ton of weapons for Paramus Catholic, and Greg Russo feels that his team is back in the picture in New Jersey.
You have to, in New Jersey, in the private school, you have to have talent to be in the picture, and these guys have that talent to certainly be in the neighborhood.
Dietrich wallowed up. Ezekiel Pena, the Swiss Army knife, with the takedown. With that said, let's take a look at the keys to the game, Mike. Both of these teams really talking about the momentum from the last game coming into this one.
Sure, both teams had a little tough go and trying to change that momentum and get a good start. I think Paramus Catholic has done that so far.
And for Paramus Catholic, don't give up the big games. For Chaminade, convert on third down, and don't let the emotions get ahead of you as Tyler Granito goes back out there for Chaminade. And, of course, it's very easy when the offense is struggling just to point your fingers at the quarterback, right? But it's a whole collective effort out there, and Granito getting some experience, and what better way to get your feet wet than against the top team in the AAA and a New Jersey power. As Tully picks up a pair.
Sure, there's no easy start, you know, for the Flyers. They have 2 tough games to start with, and you just have to remind the kids you got to keep playing, and we're gonna keep coaching, and you're gonna keep playing, and we're gonna keep getting better. And we'll see if they can do that over the next 3 quarters here in Mineola.
End of the first quarter, 13-0 Paramus Catholic on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
This is Solomon Thomas with the New York Jets, and you're watching Varsity Media.
Looking to grow your business on social media? Let Varsity Media help you. With over 50,000 followers across our platform, sponsor a segment during the broadcast and share it on social media the next day. It's the best of both worlds, as you'll get thousands of plays and your ad will live on the broadcast forever. Contact us today for sponsorship packages by calling 917-470-0864 or emailing varsitymediasponsors@gmail.com. Varsity Media offers live streaming services for any sport. With human beings behind the camera, you can expect the proper coverage angles during each game. We offer customizable options such as live scoreboard, multiple cameras, instant replay, graphics, and even announcers. Find out how you can save $100 off a live stream package with Varsity Media by calling 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. Did you?
Start of the second quarter here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. A 13-0 lead for Paramus Catholic. Xavier Williams with a couple of touchdowns, 6-yard TD run, and then a 7-yard touchdown catch. As Paramus Catholic imposing their will in the first quarter, 123 total yards, Mike. They've been efficient. As Granito back to pass over the middle on first down through the hands of Michael Dietrich. Had 3 catches a week ago for 65 yards and couldn't haul in his first catch of the afternoon.
That was Granito's best ball so far, I think. Dietrich's got to help his quarterback out and try to come down with that when he got open over the middle on the inside seam and the post, and I was open. And you know, the Paramus is able to that play. It was second and almost 8. They really only had 5 men in the box. They were bringing a safety in a little bit late, which enabled Dietrich to get open on the post. But you know, Chaminade, inability to really have to be able to run the football against those light boxes when you get them.
Granito now 2 for 5 for only 7 yards in the air. 3rd and 7 from the 25. Granito sees the blitz. He'll take it himself. Charges up the middle and is leveled. Makai Catino with his first tackle of the afternoon. And here comes the punting unit for the Flyers.
Good job down the field by Paramus with the coverage. No one to throw the ball to. If he could have just made that the one defender miss, he would have had a little bit more yardage, but just couldn't get there. Great tackle, great open field tackle.
So Tomlinson's second opportunity to punt. This is the first year that Tomlinson is punting. Just did the kicking a year ago. And of course, he's excelled at it and dedicated a lot of time to it. Takes a Flyer bounce.
Good looking punt right there. A lot of height. Let you get your team able to run under it. Your gunners and then usually the long snapper gets a free release, so you're able to get down under it.
37-yard punt for Mr. Tomlinson, who was told by the coaching staff flat out this year, we need you to punt, and he was a little hesitant about it. Kevin Dolan sat him down and said, hey, if Matt Diegas, our quarterback, could be our punter, you certainly can. Took the message and has dedicated that to his toolbox. So Crew Cologne back out on offense, starting at the 31. His first give is to Jaden Johnson, the senior up the middle.
Good tackle right there. Looks like that was number 9 from Chaminade.
That's Tim Battaglia, younger brother of Charlie Battaglia, who was a big-time tight end last year for the Flyers. Snap dropped again. Massey on the far side in the flat, shakes and bakes and gets back to the line of scrimmage. Might have gotten a yard. This will set up third and about 5.
Snap was dropped, but it wasn't a great snap. You know, he's done there, and you know, we always only want to talk about the center when it goes wrong, right? But, you know, it's a hard job just getting it back there, pass that ball back there. It seems so easy, but when you have a player on the nose or in the A-gap next to you, you know, in the shade, not as easy.
2 receivers up top, a big clap, and this should be a false start against Paramus Catholic. Couldn't have been any more obvious. Look at where James Deli is set up for Paramus Catholic.
Paramus fans aren't too happy. Thought the Chaminade guys crossed over the neutral zone, and that should have been on the defense. Not what the men in stripes here believed.
That was a hard count by Cologne, but he fooled Deli, who jumped ahead. Couldn't have been any more obvious.
You always tell the receivers, you're furthest from the ball, just look in. If you move a fight second late, it's okay. Just don't be early.
Back to 3rd and long.
Got Massey in the outside slot here.
And Cologne looks that way. Pump fake. Gets out of it. Nudges ahead. The ball comes loose. Chaminade picks it up. It's John Marshall after the takedown by Massey, but the Flyers. Defense steps up. And a big-time takeaway by Chaminade. Let's take another look, Mike.
Huge play. And I'll tell you, I thought he was going to score. And Massey came off Jericho Turnpike. Like, where was Massey? He had a route down the field. He was running a wheel route, and he was able to come all the way back and make that play. Not sure what we have here. We have a flag.
Well, that's what they're discussing right now, the referees, whether or not Cologne was down. And they'll look at each other, and we'll wait for the official call. And there's a holding in there as well. So it came after the fumble. It should be Chaminade ball. They'll push him back a little bit, but either way, long story short, the Flyers will gain possession.
I think they're looking at. I don't mean to correct you, but I think they're actually looking at that on the pass route.
Okay.
And they may give that back to Paramus Catholic, I think, is the question. Paramus Catholic coaches seem pretty confident they're keeping the ball.
Yep, good call. Yeah, so holding against Chaminade.
But flag was down there on the 44-yard line, so back judge must have thrown it there. What a turn of events.
Yeah.
We've seen our share of laundry here, the yellow hankies on the flag, so on the flags being thrown so far in this game.
I think a lot of that also has to do with the speed of Paramus Catholic and Chaminade struggling to keep them in front. There's a lot of grabbing up there, and penalties being called. So 1st and 10 from the 40. And Williams darts up ahead, a gain of 6.
I know I sound a little old school, but if I'm and Coach Russo's a very good offensive coach, and I think you have a size advantage up front, and you have a great back. Let's not be cute.
Right.
Let's just try to get downhill a little bit against the Flyers.
Cologne on 2nd down, going deep. He's got a man in Deli. Hauls it in, touchdown. James Deli breaking past the secondary, and he's got a 55-yard touchdown catch and run.
That's why he's the coach, and I'm up here talking to you guys, right? Great decision. Man coverage right there looks like because the box reversed to run, trying to get some defenders in the box. And Deli just runs away from the coverage. You see Deli's speed right there.
And yeah, just too easy. A drop in the bucket for Paramus Catholic.
What a turn of events in about a minute and 30 seconds of real lifetime, right? They went from having a turnover and a scoop and a ball on the 20-yard line after Chaminade around the 20-yard line to you get a foul call. The ball goes back to Paramus Catholic. 2 plays later, you have a touchdown.
And another flag on the PAT, but either way, for Paramus Catholic, they wanted to assert their will And they've done so thus far. Of course, they want to clean up the penalties, but if that's the worst thing and they still have a 19-0 lead as it stands right now, Paramus Catholic sitting pretty. Should be a penalty against Chaminade. Paramus Catholic will take the point. Check that, the false start wipes it off, and 19-0 the score for Paramus Catholic over the Chaminade Flyers.
Big plays been the name of the game for Paramus Catholic so far. Not necessarily big plays resulting in every score was a big play, but they've been big plays to set up those touchdowns. And you can see the speed that they have in the skill positions, very talented.
With that said, here's a look at Chaminade's tail of the tape. Of course, established in 1930, new athletic facility. I mean, it's been a fantastic atmosphere here over at Chaminade and what they've been able to do here in Mineola as well. And with that said, there's Greg Russo, the visitor. I mean, he's feeling right at home here. Russo in his second season for Paramus Catholic. And boy, has he done a fantastic job. And the way that his team is playing right now, not too far away from win number 3 on the season.
Russo's second time here for Russo, right? As a coach, he was assistant coach and called the offense and the teams of the mid, I guess you want to call it the last decade.
Yeah,
they were very talented groups and championship teams. He was the offensive coordinator, and now he's back as the head coach.
Played for the legendary Mike Campanelli and and who's coaching now at Bergen Catholic. Son Vito, the Bergen Catholic head coach. Nunzio is at Syracuse. Nicky's the head coach at DePaul Catholic. And, of course, Anthony, linebacker coach with the Miami Dolphins.
What a coaching tree right there. A lot of people involved in football at many levels, including the highest level, the NFL.
With that said, and we have a break, we should thank our sponsors today as well, Catholic Health and Speed Island. Thank you for being a part of the Varsity Media Sports Network.
What a Speed Island right here for the Paramus Catholic.
Yeah.
Paladins in the first half.
So Granito will take over at the 20-yard line. Chaminade needs to score in the worst way. Play action on first down. Wobbly ball goes over the head of Brendan Park, the junior from Flushing.
Play action there. Sometimes comes off an RPO type look, that run pass option, but that looked like more of a play action. You always got to be careful throwing those slants and those seams in there with those overhang defenders. You know, they read it, get their hands on it, could be 6 points.
You know, Mike, when you look at a young quarterback like Granito, you see he's got the physical build, but you see there's still a lot of room to grow, and a lot of that just has to do with getting the reps at the varsity level. And Tully on second down, a gain of a pair.
You're playing against some very, very fast, athletic players in the secondary and the defense for Paramus Catholic, and it's all happening very fast. It's not happening this fast in practice. It never does, and all rarely does, and now it's happening at game speed like this and against guys who are very talented. It's not easy. It's one of the hardest positions in all of sports to play is the quarterback position, and to play it well. By next year, his command of it will be so, you'll have such good command of what they're doing, it'll look like a totally different player. Maybe before the end of this year it'll happen.
3rd and 7, 3 receivers on the far side. Granito with the hard count. Fakes, flushed out, and is leveled. Makai Moore. He's been making big play after big play through the first 3 weeks for the Paladins and makes his presence felt in the second quarter.
On the near side here, they had the single. Looked like it was in man with the single receiver, but they actually doubled him with the overhang. And none of the other players were open on the other side of the field as well.
Boy, Makai Moore, what can you say about what he's brought to the front line for the Paladins defense?
He's a playmaker. They said he's the big play guy in the front, and their front seven, and really runs to the football and makes plays, and you can see it.
So here's Tomlinson averaging more than 35 yards. A punt, it's blocked. And the Paladins scoop it up, and who else? Mekhi Moore. He gets the stop. Now he gets the TDs. It's all Paladins here in Mineola.
On the last punt, I felt like, they were in that shield punt formation. You do get guys a little bit close to that wall, the little three-man wall, and that time they came through even faster and got there for the play. Big play on specials for Paramus Catholic.
If you look at it again, Mekhi Moore just getting in there. And you know what? Once you scoop up that loose ball, it's probably the easiest touchdown he'll get in his varsity career.
Just got to scoop it up.
Yeah. Extra point is up. And no good, off to the right. And that's been the one issue for Paramus Catholic. Max Feinstein misses the extra point. But either way, 26-0 with 7 minutes to go for the Paramus Catholic Paladins.
Kicking extra points has been the only thing they haven't done well. I mean, maybe if you want to nitpick a couple fouls here and there, a couple flags here and there, but pretty impressive display of athleticism and speed from the visitors from New Jersey.
They've come in and they have just been fantastic so far. And here are our players to watch as well. Kenyon Massey and Adrian Lang. Lang's made a good impression on defense. We haven't seen a lot of Massey, and it's no through fault of his own. It's just that Williams and company, especially James Deli and Jaden Johnson, have stepped up.
There are some teams, I think, where Massey would be touching the ball on every play, right, or nearly every play, and he'd be the focal point. But there's so much talent here that it gets spread around, and he's sometimes a decoy maybe a little bit, just running a regular route. It's not going to him, and that's okay.
Chaminade receives. It's Tully. Bounces into his own teammate and gets across the 30. 15-yard run and some pushing and shoving afterwards. And see some frustration out of Chaminade, trailing 26-0 at home.
Good run by Tully, right? Good return by Tully. I like how he runs around Tully. He's very impressive. Puts his foot in the ground, makes decisions, gets north-south, tough to bring down.
As we look at the rest of the scoreboard as well, St. Anthony's with a 13-0 lead over St. Joseph's Regional. That was a barn burner last year, and that was a game in which St. Joe's Regional beat the Friars 63-49, Mike, in a shootout over at Rutgers, and St. Anthony's trying to repay the bill.
There's shootouts and then there's shootouts,
yeah.
And that was the latter, and that was a fun game to watch.
Here's Granito on first down, and the pass incomplete. The drop, Brendan Park.
To Granito's defense, his receivers haven't come up clutch for him so far, and have to make a couple catches, make a few plays, and everything isn't all on the quarterback, and that's why 7-on-7 and flag football and 7-on-7 is not it's football, but it's not football because the five people that play in front of you, those two tackles, two guards in the center, change the entire makeup of football when you add them in. So it's a combination of a line of scrimmage players and the receivers and the quarterback and the running back all working in unison. 11 men working together.
Dietrich goes in motion. The pump fake, and Dietrich with his first catch of the afternoon. Flag comes flying out afterwards after the pickup of 5. And we'll see if a Paladin might have knocked down Granito afterwards.
Looks like it might be a late hit there.
This will be against Paramus Catholic. As Charlie Boyle signals first down for Chaminade. With that said, Mike, we know that this is the Battle of the Bridge, St. Joseph's Regional taking on St. Anthony's. Then you've got DePaul Catholic and Stepanak, a battle of two really good quarterbacks, Will Currid for Stepanak and Derek Zamat, who's coming off a game in which he went 11 for 13, threw for more than 200 yards, 240 to be exact. And that was the Elijah Burris game, 2 TD catches, looking to knock off Paramus Catholic, and you saw the rest, knock off Stepanak Paramus Catholic looking to knock off Chaminade here, and they're sitting pretty. Tully gains a few, knocked down by Tilton.
So Tully's had some good runs here in the first half. And, if you Chaminade, I think you have to just stay the course, right? Can't look at the scoreboard. I know it's sitting right over there against the building of the school over there, but you can't look at the scoreboard. You just have to play, and you have to use an experience. How do we get better right now? How do we put our mouthpieces in, buckle our chin straps, and let's go play, and let's try to get better. And when we watch the film, we'll find things to correct. But we have to give effort. We have to keep giving effort. I know it's hard when it's 26-0. There's a lot of football to play. A lot could happen. And if we keep giving great effort and keep playing and not look at the scoreboard, it'll be okay because we'll get better from this experience.
Granito, the hard count. High snap. Tully again, the draw. And, the one thing that Kevin Dolan said after the loss to Iona Prep, he thought that a lot of players would be hanging their heads and kind of dwelling on the losses. They were okay with it afterwards. It seemed as if they went through their 5 stages of grief right away and were just on to Paramus Catholic. And he just loves the mental makeup of this team.
Sure, you're not going to get the game back. One thing about sports is when it's over, you don't get a do-over. You don't get do-overs in sports. That's what makes them a great learning lesson for life, right? And it wasn't that they weren't ready to play. Iona was very good. I thought Chaminade played well defensively, and they couldn't win the game. But you got to learn from it and get better.
5 minutes left in the half, and Chaminade gets the first down. Big throw by Granito as he connects with Peter Braz, the junior, and move the chains for the Flyers.
Good looking play right there. Just hitch it up. We'll hitch, move right there. Hitch, sit it down. Get what you need. Get past the sticks. Make the catch. Put the ball away. Get the first down.
First third down conversion for Chaminade. They went 2 of 11 on third down last week. That's just not going to get it done.
No, it's certainly not going to get it done. And what leads into not being successful on third down is what you do on first and second down. I'm a big believer in what happens on first down really matters. And, getting behind the chains on first down or getting ahead of a chains really helps you.
Tully the give.
Yep.
And is wrestled down by Zachary Williams, the junior, for the Paladins.
He wants to get up in that hole pretty quick in there. Just keep having patience and let the lineman pull through. You pulled 2 right there, right? So you had to kick out and a pull through. You let them get a hat on a hat, let them cover their men up, and then cut off of it.
With that said, if this is your first time watching Varsity Media, scan the QR code up on the top left as well to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've got a ton of football games coming up this season that dips into basketball, lacrosse, and baseball right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
I can't believe it's only middle of September, not even yet. It feels like, right, we've done so many games already.
You know what, that's fine. I'm not a fan of the summer with no games. Braz with the completion. And Adrian Lang, the Temple commit, knocks down. I know that you're preoccupied with summer lacrosse and all of that stuff, but just as an announcer, you're looking at your thumbs all summer.
Oh, sure. And I'm also looking at having football around. Every day of the week, you can watch football a little bit. That's a pretty cool thing.
And with that said, be sure to subscribe to Varsity Media. We'll have the Nassau County Football Playoffs live streamed, championships and semifinals this November. Tully and the Wildcat has enough for a first down, the gain of 5.
Good drive going over Chaminade right now. They've had some good plays. You know that they've been successful on first down, like I've referenced, getting good yardage on first down, at least 4. They've had some good drives. I like that, getting Tully the ball directly from the direct snap and let him just find where to go off the blocking up front. A little zoning up front, just zone it up and let him find the spot to put his hat into. I like it.
3 receivers up top. Michael Dietrich in the slot. Granito, high snap, spins it, far side. Incomplete. John Carroll couldn't corral it. Sets up second down.
Pretty good throw there. Once again, throwing that ball a pretty long distance, and you have a defender on his back. Just couldn't hook it up.
Seen a lot of John Carroll this week for Chaminade. Had a good week of practice, has earned himself some playing time, and that's one of the benefits, too. I don't want to say a benefit and a loss, but you continue to play hard regardless of the score. You're going to get some playing time, and you have followed it up with a good week of practice. Dolan showing the trust in Carroll so far. Trust this guy, Tully. Bounces to the outside and spun down by Jalen Harrell.
Great tackle by Harrell, because I'll tell you, he's coming down for that safety spot, right? If he doesn't make that tackle, I think Tully scores. It was a good cut. It seemed like Tully, it always seems like oh, there it is. They moved the sticks a little more. A young man over there is a little bit slow moving. I thought, how'd they only get like 2.5 yards? But you can see the pursuit and the tackling by the Paladins has improved over the last few weeks.
Yeah. Chaminade has to score. And you'd have to imagine they're thinking touchdown and not field goal here. Down 26-0 with less than 100 seconds to go in the half. Trips receivers up top. Granito on 3rd and 6, out of the gun. Blitz coming, floats it, end zone, incomplete. He had Brendan Park open, but overshot him.
Park would have done move a little bit of an angle flag and just couldn't get to it. Granito comes up a little gimpy, got hit pretty hard as he was about to release that ball. Little trial by fire here from Granito, right? He'll be better for it when it's over, and they learn a lot from it. And you might be able to venture and say there aren't going to be too many people you're going to play the rest of the year that have the team speed that these guys have. So
4th down and 6. And a whistle at the snap.
Looks like Ezekiel Pena was trying to time up that snap count a little bit. He just got a little bit ahead of himself. And you have an offsides.
So that pushes Chaminade closer. And could change up the play call as well. Now not being 4th and 6, it should set up 4th and short.
Yeah, it's going to be about 4th and about a yard, right? If our math is correct.
Yep.
Never good at that stuff, but still, I'm still not. But multiples of numbers of 10, I'm pretty good. So 4th and almost 2, a long 1, short 2.
Timeout taken by Paramus Catholic. We'll take it with them as well on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
This is Solomon Thomas with the New York Jets, and you're watching Varsity Media.
Looking to grow your business on social media? Let Varsity Media help you. With over 50,000 followers across our platform, sponsor a segment during the broadcast and share it on social media the next day. It's the best of both worlds, as you'll get thousands of plays and your ad will live on the broadcast forever. Contact us today for sponsorship packages by calling 917-470-0864 or emailing varsitymediasponsors@gmail.com. Varsity Media offers live streaming services for any sport. With human beings behind the camera, you can expect the proper coverage angles during each game. We offer customizable options such as live scoreboard, multiple cameras, instant replay, graphics, and even announcers. Find out how you can save $100 off a live stream package with Varsity.
On 4th down, out of the Wildcat, Tully's got a 1st down. Boy, did Chaminade need that, Mike. A half in which it wasn't going their way, they get a break.
Sure did. Tully, they got to stop the clock here to get over the ball to no moving the chains, though. They just wind the clock. So Boyle winds the clock, minute 15 and running, but a good play on the zone. Just letting them read where to go in direct snap. Take away the exchange, right? Just give it direct to the ball player, the ball carrier you want.
Tully lines up to the right of Granito. You've got Braz, Carroll, and Dietrich at the top of your screen. But looks near side to Park. Might have been batted in front. Contact coming. That was Ezekiel Pena, who actually shoved the guard into Granito.
He comes off on the snap, comes off the edge there. Winds it down and comes. Trying to get the ball in the quarterback's hand faster. And one receiver trying to clear it to the outside, and the other one trying to run a slant. Kind of Because they got it out of the quarterback's hand faster, kind of caused the whole play to get fouled up and be off timing. Have to be careful throwing the ball to the single down the bottom of the screen. They have an overhang player here.
And the draw, just read like a book. Kavan Karam, one of 2 Karam brothers on the team, and Kavan makes the presence felt. And take another look, he's able to get into the Chaminade backfield.
Sure, good penetration right there. He was able to get in the backfield and make tackle for loss. And 3rd and goal from the 11 here.
Couple receivers both sides. Chaminade racing against the clock. 19 seconds and rolling. Down 26 zip. Granito flips it. End zone. Incomplete. Chaminade wanted a flag. Brendan Park saw a lot of jostling, but nothing called.
I think Park was trying to get back to the outside there, right? It looked like he was trying to get back outside. I don't know if that was really a whip route or a comeback, and he was a little bit, I don't know if there were definitely hands on each other down there, but those officials are way closer than you and I are up here. Mm-hmm. So, and a whole bunch of other officials in the stands.
You're right, yeah.
But the officials are always closer. And
so with that said, if you're Kevin Dolan and you're in this huddle, what are you telling your team? You're down 26-0. You want to get the score in here. It's 4th down. I'll have you put your coach's hat back on.
Well, you're going to have to run a play, but it's obviously you can't run the ball from the 11-yard line and score. The ball's got to get thrown into the end zone. A penalty would be helpful, obviously. So you have to tell Granito, can't take the sack. Ball's got to get thrown. It's got to be out of your hands. And worst case scenario, though, you don't want the ball ran back 99 yards on a pick 6, right? So you have to have some goal line routes that could get you in those situations.
So that's Kevin Dolan, the head coach for Chaminade, speaking to the officials. And, might be chatting about whether or not there was a pass interference call or a illegal contact downfield, and just getting the explanation in there. And
yeah, I think you were probably thinking on the play before, maybe there was a penalty that wasn't called.
So this will bring up 4th down and goal from the 11.
Got to watch for Paramus inserting a blitz here.
Granito has Tully devoured. Pena again. And the Paladins make the stop.
Trying to get the ball to Tully. They're trying to get Pena blocked, but he just avoids the block right there. Looks like they're trying to get number 23, John Carroll, to be out there to provide a block, but the throw beats the block, and everybody beats the block, and he makes the play.
With that said, this should just be a kneel down now for Paramus Catholic. And, Mike, it's all back to the drawing board for Chaminade, and the Paladins have to be sitting pretty, but can't take your foot off the gas.
No, I think they'll take a knee here and just get to halftime and stop the second half and say, yeah, it's a good half, and let's clean some things up and keep going with it.
A 26-0 lead for Paramus Catholic here on the road in Mineola, as both teams will go to the drawing board and we get ready for the start of the second half. Keep it locked during halftime. We'll have our own Jared Veluzzi. Spoke to a couple of key players on both sides, and we'll have a interview with the athletic directors, Jimmy Cavallo and Dan Feeney, on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
This is Solomon Thomas with the New York Jets, and you're watching Varsity Media.
At Catholic Health, when we see our island, we see a region that lives, feels, and pulses with energy. But before it all, we see you, because it's your lives that breathe life into this island. At Catholic Health, we're able to provide the highest quality, most innovative care for your body, because our culture cherishes your humanity. Long live Long Island.
High school sports fans, are you following Varsity Media on our YouTube channel? For the best coverage of New York high school sports, make sure you head to youtube.com/varsity media. 3 easy steps. First, hit that like button, and then be sure to subscribe. And finally, tap that yellow bell to be notified of all of our upcoming sportscasts. Thank you for following Varsity Media on YouTube.
Hey sports fans, did you know Varsity Media live stream broadcasts get viewed by college coaches nationwide? Through our announcers' storytelling and insight on your athletes, we can help your players get an edge on college recruiting. Find out how by reaching out to Varsity Media today, 516-403-2050, or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jared Veluzzi, and joined alongside me, Jack Tully, the running back for the Chaminade Flyers. And Jack, I have to ask, Chaminade back up as a AAA contender. What's the culture like over there in Mineola?
We're a really closely knit group this year, and I attribute a lot of that to our 77 work this summer. We went out to St. Anthony's, had a couple at home. We really got to know each other a lot, and this camp that we had this summer for 2 weeks, 2-a-day practices, lift in between, the usual, we really got close.
Yeah, and also on your team, you guys got some amazing offensive linemen like Nick Rinaldi, Lucas Catogio. What's the relationship with you and the big boys up front?
Oh, it's great. I really love those guys. As you saw in the Iona game, they parted the sea for me. We had a nice score there, although that game didn't go great for us. Yeah, we're really close. I love those guys. Even the younger ones. We got a sophomore, Declan Miller. He gets some work in there, and, there are a lot of great players.
The game against Iona, I know it didn't go your way, but you guys were in it for a while. What do you think can separate the Flyers from the rest of the AAA here in the rest of the season?
I think that this year we're one of the most hard-working teams in the AAA. And, we grind every day at practice. And I think hard work and maybe our chemistry as well is probably the 2 things that set us apart the most.
Last season, you guys played against Paramus Catholic. It was a thriller all the way to the end. I mean, how excited are you to get another shot at them?
Yeah, no, we've been waiting for this for a long time. Obviously, last year was heartbreaking, and, I really think we're going to do well this week, and I'm looking forward to it.
It's definitely going to be a fun one, and here are a couple, good questions for you, just fun, rapid fire. If you could have dinner with any 3 people in the world, who are you going with and why?
It's pretty generic, but I'd say Coach Dolan from Chaminade, Tyler Granito, Nick Rinaldi.
I love that, sticking with the teammates. And, speaking of your team, after
Sorry about that. We're back here at halftime. We are joined by the master, the big cheese, Jimmy Cavallo, athletic director at Paramus Catholic. Guys seem pretty coming back to Mineola. I guess they knew it was some sort of homecoming for you coming back. Your thoughts on the game so far?
I mean, listen, I've spent many days coming out here to Mineola, and I just had a great conversation with Jack Moran, the legendary lacrosse coach, going into his, I believe, his 45th year here. And so many great days covering Chaminade athletics. I mean, between the lacrosse guys and the football guys, doesn't seem like that long ago when Tommy Zanker, the Zank man, was catching touchdowns for the Flyers, winning that AAA championship. Just from a quarterback, Sean going to Villanova, loved it. But hey, now I'm the athletic director of Paramus Catholic. Started July 1st, a little pivot in the career. And listen, it's a good response from Paramus Catholic. We come off our first loss of the year a week ago to Pope John, a game in which we trailed 21-0. We came all the way back. We had a chance to tie it with an extra point, and with 2.5 minutes left, didn't go well. We come off a loss, so coaches, how are they going to respond? You know what I mean? And I think they responded well. You know what I mean? They look good. They're mixing it up. Our head coach, Greg Russo, is really an offensive guru, and you can see it on display out there, how he mixes it up, getting different guys involved. One thing I'll say about Paramus Catholic this year, there's not one thing to stop offensively to slow us down.
We can't take the analyst out of you. I think you're just breaking it down. I want to know a little bit about your journey as athletic director, too, because obviously you're responsible for those other teams. But when you take over a position at such a prestigious campus, What are some of the things that you want to establish? What are you learning this year? And for the folks out there, alumni, what do you want them to know about the Cavallo administration?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I've been around high school sports my entire life. This is just a natural pivot for me, athletic director. And I think my mission statement when I took the job July 1st was I wanted every team to feel like they're the most important team. One thing about Paramus Catholic that's a little different. When you think about Paramus Catholic and Bergen County in North Jersey, you think about the big dogs, right? You think about Bergen Catholic, Don Bosco, St. Joe's, Del Barton, on and on. But the one thing that makes Paramus Catholic different, John, is it's co-ed. We have nearly 500 girls in the building. And so you have, of our 28 varsity sports, a lot of them are female sports. So, I've spent a lot of time around girls volleyball this past fall and girls soccer, the tennis team, you know what I mean? It's like you just want everybody to feel like if they need something out of athletics, we're going to be there for them. We're going to facilitate it. And most importantly, this is high school sports. You're a young guy, but, you're committed to the world of high school sports. And it's a great time in these kids' life. You know what I mean? And we are there to try and give them the best possible experience on that high school sports journey because you only do it once. You know what I mean? This is not college. You know what I mean? Like, when Georgia wins a national football championship and the quarterback is 25, 26 years old, that doesn't happen in high school. You know what I mean? You're there for 4 years, you're out the door. There's no grad years, extra years, prep years. Can't do it. When you go to a traditional high school, you're 4 years and out the door. It's great memories. I was always in the memory business. I'm just trying to extend that now as an AD.
So some of those memories include the patented Cavallo turkey sandwich after Thanksgiving. Is that something that's going to be given out?
Listen, there is food involved. Okay, you announced me as the big cheese. The first thing I was going to think is, what cheese are you talking about? You're probably going to say fresh mozzarella or something along that line. But food has been part of the itinerary. Paramus Catholic, our boys right now went in the locker room. And when they got in there here at Chaminade, there's bananas. There's Cliff Bars. There's fresh water. You know what I mean? You're trying to make it seem like it's a next level experience. And I tell you, sometimes it's a factor. We went out to Cleveland Heights, our first game of the year. It was August 25th. It was 90 degrees. It was hot. It was humid. And listen, we felt like we didn't cramp a lot. And I took a lot of credit for the abundance of bananas in the locker room at the half. But again, it's just doing what you think needs to be done to make that experience a little bit next level.
Jimmy, always a pleasure, my friend.
Johnny boy, you're one of the great rising young broadcasters in the business. A pleasure to be on Varsity Media. Go Paladins.
Appreciate it. He's not just a Jersey guy, but he plays one on TV. Jimmy Cavallo here in the booth. We'll take a break. We'll speak to Dan Feedy when we come back.
This is Solomon Thomas with the New York Jets, and you're watching Varsity Media.
At Catholic Health, when we see our island, we see a region that lives, feels, and pulses with energy. But before it all, we see you, because it's your lives that breathe life into this island. At Catholic Health, we're able to provide the highest quality, most innovative care for your body because our culture cherishes your humanity. Long live Long Island.
Yeah, you can. Back here on the Varsity Media Sports Network, still halftime here as we are joined by now the athletic director, Dan Feeny, for the Chaminade Flyers. And Dan, I know it's not the result that you want. The guys are still playing hard, but what does it mean to have the opportunity to host a good New Jersey school for the state of Chaminade and the rest of the league?
Sure. So obviously the league that we're in right now is, in our opinion, the best league in New York. And the last couple of years we've expanded that, playing into Jersey every year. We played Paramus Catholic last year, and a tough, close, heartbreaking loss there. Just gives us that much of an opportunity to get better throughout the year and hopefully at the end. I'm also the assistant AD in case John Huntercamp's watching. He's the athletic director. I don't want him to get upset with me right now.
John, I apologize, but, having said that, there's a certain trait and characteristics out of Chaminade men, right? And so I'd imagine as an assistant AD, it's probably easier to deal with those personalities and molding the young men. Having said that, though, how much does that energize you to obviously being part of the basketball team, but this whole athletic department as a whole to watch these guys grow?
Yeah, so people ask about the school all the time. The question you get at a lot of high schools, what's your best sport? My answer every time is we don't have a bad one. Every sport here, the kids that are invested in that sport are invested in that sport. And our job between John and myself and the rest of the department, all the coaches, is to do the same thing, to offer what the resources they need, to invest ourselves in them. And last 16 months we've been doing it together as a team, and I think that's part of what we try to preach to our kids, be part of a team. John and myself and all the coaches on the staff kind of look to do the same thing.
All right, appreciate it, Dan. It's halftime here. That's Dan Feeney, assistant AD here at Chaminade. Second half coming up next on the Varsity.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Hey Mom and Dad, how about a personalized hype video of your athlete produced by Varsity Media? Cinematic coverage of game action, plus on-camera interviews by our crew set to music will make your son or daughter look like the next superstar. Perfect for social media fame and college recruiting. Don't wait, reach out today. Spots are limited this fall. 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
When it comes to advertising, are you hitting the right audience? Why waste your time with television or a free print publication that's given out at a local deli? Varsity Media has your back. With a following of over 50,000 and a local demographic ranging between the ages of 18 and 54 years old, it's time to get that return on investment. Plus, here's the best part. Your ad lives forever on our YouTube page. And with a large on-demand audience, it's a grand slam to advertise with Varsity Media.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Hey Mom and Dad, how about a personalized hype video of your athlete produced by Varsity Media? Cinematic coverage of game action, plus on-camera interviews by our crew set to music will make your son or daughter look like the next superstar. Perfect for social media fame and college recruiting. Don't wait, reach out today. Spots are limited this fall. 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
When it comes to advertising, are you hitting the right audience? Why waste your time with television or a free print publication that's given out at a local deli? Varsity Media has your back. With a following of over 50,000 and a local demographic ranging between the ages of 18 and 54 years old, it's time to get that return on investment. Plus, here's the best part. Your ad lives forever on our YouTube page. And with a large on-demand audience, it's a grand slam to advertise with Varsity Media.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Hey Mom and Dad, how about a personalized hype video of your athlete produced by Varsity Media? Cinematic coverage of game action, plus on-camera interviews by our crew set to music will make your son or daughter look like the next superstar. Perfect for social media fame and college recruiting. Don't wait, reach out today. Spots are limited this fall. 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
When it comes to advertising, are you hitting the right audience? Why waste your time with television or a free print publication that's given out at a local deli? Varsity Media has your back. With a following of over 50,000 and a local demographic ranging between the ages of 18 and 54 years old, it's time to get that return on investment. Plus, here's the best part. Your ad lives forever on our YouTube page. And with a large on-demand audience, it's a 26-0. Paramus Catholic, they've got the ball at the 49-yard line, their own 49-yard line. And 3rd and 5 as Crew Cologne gets rushed, gets it off, and floats a pass over to Kenyon Massey, picks up the first down, and jostles out of bounds after the big-time pickup of 16.
Chaminade John got the ball first coming out of halftime and got a 3-and-out, punted it away. And gave Paramus Catholic decent field position. They've made the most of it so far, driving, and Massey with a big gain right there on the, look like on the back end of mesh right there, getting open late.
Didn't really hear a lot from Kenyon Massey in the first half. Just one rushing attempt for 6 yards, but had 3 catches for 40 yards. And now loses the football. Juan Manaya jumps on top of it. And it should probably stay with Paramus Catholic.
And just on cue, we get Massey with the ball again, right? But get the ball thrown to him. And great play by Manaya, hopping on it smartly. That's a big man with some agility to find that football right there. He doesn't get to touch it very much.
Not bad for a guy 340.
340. Wow.
340 and growing. All steel. Pumps a pass, overshoots his target in Massey. And this will stay for 3rd and long.
Timing wasn't super there on that play. That's going to need a little bit more work in the practice field for Paramus Catholic.
I've been pretty impressed with Crew Cologne's performance today. And, of course, when you're taking over the offense for the first time, you're going to have your ebbs and your flows. But it's very easy to hang your head and just dwell on what you don't have. But Cologne has been composed over these past few weeks, and specifically in this game. And it looks like he's got a good head on his shoulders. And Paramus Catholic has a good one at the QB1 spot.
Sure, he's been pretty when plays are broken down, he's been pretty sound.
Xavier Massey shakes one tackle and then a pair and is spun out of bounds. Luke Cacciola, the senior from Wantagh, 12 tackles a week ago, gets his first tackle of the second half.
Good job right there by Massey. Just getting out of that first tackle because it gave him a 4th and short. It would have been 4th and about 7 had they made that initial tackle, the Flyers.
And with 4th and short, the Paladins are going to go for it. As Chaminade shows the blitz. Hard count. And Cologne again. Gets it off, up the gut. Nowhere to go for Xavier Williams. First contact by Will Hanley. And Chaminade gets out of it.
These are the things that, Chaminade's got to build on, right? What things you can build on. Keep playing. Keep playing it down after down. It's this kind of game that it is. And I know the fans wanted Chaminade off sides there. They were kind of, yelling a little bit. It wasn't called. But you can go a little bit. If you're not really in that neutral zone all the way, it's not going to get called in high school. Even though it's not what you see on TV in terms of college and the NFL. You got to get across that neutral zone. If you go a little bit, if they don't see you all the way across, not going to get called.
It's very easy to sit in a booth or watch this game on wherever you're watching it and say, well, just don't bite. Crew Cologne has never snapped it right away. But when you're in the heat of battle, Mike, it's so hard you hear that count and not jump offside.
Sure,
incomplete to Dietrich.
Yep. Ball's on the inside of him now, but that was the desired spot to throw it to, but he was working his way back to it, and that's incomplete.
But those hard counts, Mike, just very hard to not go after the quarterback in those spots, and that's where you can jump offside, neutral zone, any of those penalties.
You tell those guys on the D-line, you're near the ball. You work on every day, and your every days you work on stance and start, right? And just got to see the ball move. And it's a habit, and, be surprised. It pops up, and even though it frustrates coaches, people do it. They do it in the NFL, they jump offside. It's part of the game. And cadence is something the offense uses to get the D-line off track, right? Like I said, just teeing off on the first sound. You got to use it. It's a weapon. It's a weapon it's something in your toolbox you use like any other thing you could use in the offense.
Full start called against Chaminade. Let's push the Flyers back. Chaminade, a pair of penalties. It cost them 24 yards in the first half. And you could add 5 to this one.
They were by far the least penalized team in the first half, but the one that was called, the hold on the pass play, negated a fumble recovery that would have been a huge play for the Flyers, and really, I wouldn't say it changed the tide of the first half because it was clearly in Paramus' favor, but it certainly would have, seemed like Chaminade had a little momentum shift right there.
Well, you could make that argument. Chaminade down 14-0. They believe they get the stop. They don't. Paramus Catholic scores. Now it's 20-0 instead of it being potentially 14-3, 14-7. Granito rolls out, spins it, and incomplete as he just throws it away.
So they had a little 3-level flood on right there on the Chaminade sideline. 3 levels, shallow level, mid-level, and a deeper level. And Paramus covered all 3 levels on the quarter roll and rolling the quarterback and trying to get a little sprint out there, trying to protect him a little bit, helping the protection. Keeps the backside blitz from getting to him a little bit. Good decision by the coaching staff, Chaminade, but great coverage by Paramus Catholic.
3rd and long for the Chaminade Flyers. And the schedule does not get easier after this game. St. John the Baptist and then St. Anthony's. The score update, St. Joseph's Regional, at least at the half, took the lead on St. Anthony's. 14-13. That's been a good one in Huntington. Gobbled up. Granito goes down. Darian Johnson, the super sophomore, with the drag down. And Mr. Tomlinson back out to punt again for the Flyers.
Johnson came on that rush, and then when Granito stepped up in the pocket, he went to the inside of the tackle and was able to get past him to the inside. And Granito didn't have room to step up in there, and he made the sack. The downfield routes just aren't coming open for Chaminade. You see the Paladins excellent in the secondary, good speed and coverage ability, taking those routes away. And the more time he stands in that pocket, Granito, the more chance he has to get hit or sacked.
Battaglia, the high snap. And Tomlinson, another good punt and the fair catch by Kenyon Massey. After the big punt of 30 yards.
Tremendous height on those punts. I tell you, get under him, a good fair catch there by Massey, but a good punt and a little bit of a awkward snap. He had to come down with that and a little high and off to he had to come up and down and make that play.
So here come the Paladins after the punt. And now it's back to Crew Cologne with great field position. Here's Williams up the middle, has a seam and some daylight. Williams inside the 20, down past the 15, and a huge gain for Xavier Williams, the future Minuteman.
What I liked about that right there was Xavier Williams just gets north-south, fast, downhill, and just kept going north-south. Chaminade eventually got him on the floor, but he got extra yards by not making unnecessary cuts, just getting north-south as fast as he could.
First and 10 from the 12. Williams already with 2 touchdowns today. Brought down by the ankles. Luke Cacciola.
Good tackle right there because he wound that play back, and there was a man, there was an offensive blocker there for the wind back, and he got off the block and was able to make the play. Good defense there by Chaminade.
And a timeout on the injury. Ronald Pitaro for Chaminade is down, and with that, we'll take a quick break here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Hey mom and dad, how about a personalized hype video of your athlete produced by Varsity Media? Cinematic coverage of game action, plus on-camera interviews by our crew set to music will make your son or daughter look like the next superstar. Perfect for social media fame and college recruiting. Don't wait, reach out today. Spots are limited this fall. 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
When it comes to advertising, are you hitting the right audience? Why waste your time with television or a free print publication that's given out at a local deli? Varsity. Back here on the Varsity Media Sports Network, Crew Cologne flushed out of the pocket on second down, rolling, looking end zone incomplete. Had a man darting towards the sideline. That was Isaiah Selby, the sophomore, but just couldn't connect.
Yeah, play broke down a little bit. Coverage was good by Chaminade, and Cologne got out of the pocket a little bit. I liked his decision-making about he firmly decided not to run. He stayed behind the lines. He was going to throw the ball in there, tried to hook it up. Could have probably ran, but he made a decision he was going to hang it on that pass as long as he could.
Paramus Catholic can still pick up the first down. Williams towards the edge, tries to hurdle a defender, and gets leveled after the pickup of 7.
Good run, though. Good downhill run. Chaminade rallies to the football, hold them to 4th down right here.
You can just see how dynamic this offense is, and it's really just plug and play, right? Whatever running back is there. And we didn't even mention Achilles DuPont not playing for Paramus Catholic today. He's another weapon that they have. We've seen Williams. We've seen Massey. When they're clicking on all cylinders, it's very tough. And now Chris Bartholomew goes into the backfield. He'll be the fullback to block. Touchdown on the near side, Kenyon Massey. From 2 yards out, the Paladins continue to pour it on here in Mineola.
Good route by Massey, the ball thrown only where he could catch it. And I like Cologne's footwork and really good looking play right there. They max protected him with 2 backs. And good touchdown.
And you could see how much the run being established by Paramus Catholic opens up that play action, Mike, and they're just doing whatever they want on the field. Greg Russo takes a timeout. Not sure what he saw on the special teams.
They were a man short, a couple men short. Other than extra point, Paramus Catholic's been pretty good today, other than extra point.
You know, missed 3 extra points last week in their 47-40 loss to Pope John. Pope John losing to Cardinal Hayes last night in a thriller. What might be, what some are saying, the greatest regular season high school game in history.
I will tell you, we had Cardinal Hayes. I had Cardinal Hayes in that shootout there with St. Anthony's, and I was impressed by the skill players on Cardinal Hayes, especially Henry Beelan, a quarterback, is a very talented player.
I mean, the whole Beelan family, right? Henry at Duke, future starter for the Blue Devils. Extra point is good as Max Feinstein drills it, and a 33-0 lead for Paramus Catholic. And with that said, you just look around on the Varsity Media Sports Network. We've got some good ones coming up. Mike will be together next Saturday. Sayville takes on Hills West. You just saw the Golden Flashes against Smithtown West. Bayshore, Connecticut, St. Anthony's, Chaminade, always a thriller. Wantagh Southside, and then Chaminade and Kellenberg again.
A lot of football coming up. A lot of good football to see. Exciting times.
As we look into the Chaminade huddle, and you know, we said this earlier, and I think it still bears true. Regardless of the score, this is an opportunity for some of the players that might be getting in because the game is dictated it to actually show something to the coaches and try and build some playing time. And even though the score's not in your favor, you want to stay on that field or get on that field. This is a chance to prove it for the Flyers.
Sure, I think if you have a bunch of first-year starters, game time is playing time in games is invaluable. It's not practice. It's never going to be practice. Practice is important. You got to get things right, but game speed is game speed against a stranger, against somebody you're not familiar with, an opponent, and these reps are valuable for those first-year guys.
Michael Dietrich, Massapequa native. Pick up a 15.
John, score update. We got St. Joe's out at St. Anthony's. Just took a 21-20 lead on the Friars midway through the third quarter.
You know, Mike, one of the things, too, at least on Varsity Media, and if you're viewing Varsity Media, is that Mike's laughing because he killed a bug. That's what happened here. It was a bee in here. It was coming straight for us, and Mike swatted it away with his cat-like reflexes. So fantastic job. Thank you for that.
The only dose for athleticism I have left.
It was like a lacrosse stick. You just went right over there and chopped that bee up. So Granito will set up shop at the 32-yard line. And out of the gun, flips it far side. He's got Brendan Park. First catch of the afternoon for Mr. Park, and a gain of 6.
So I see a little improvement from Chaminade in the short passing game. I think it's really hard to get deep on the Paramus Catholic secondary. You know, their speed and the rush up front is preventing Chaminade from throwing, taking too many deep shots. But that short passing game will pay dividends now. Hopefully to get the run game opened up here in a little bit in the second half.
I was going to say, giving the score updates is great for now, but a lot of our viewers will watch this game again, certainly Paramus Catholic. So I guess we could just go out there and say this. Wow, Mike, can you believe the end of that St. Anthony-St. Joe's game? I mean, can you believe what happened there?
That certainly could be part of our broadcast, yes.
Jack Tully has been given the lion's shares of the runs this year, and he's really been the workhorse out of the backfield for the Flyers.
He's been a bright spot here today, with some yardage and has some good cuts. And obviously the offensive line from Chaminade is trying to do the best they can against a stout defensive front from for Paramus Catholic. If you're a Chaminade Fly team, I'd like to keep this drive going a little bit. You got a first down right now. You know, keep the clock moving as well a little bit, but try to get the ball downfield. A short passing game, maybe come back to a quick hitch or an out here.
The give again to Tully. Nice move, gets a first down and spun down. Big time tackle, Makai Catino. One of those Swiss Army knives on the defense. I haven't said his name a lot, but he's been around the nose of the football this afternoon.
Great cut by Tully, and he left a defender on the ground who was going low for him. I think that, not really sure who that was, but that was a great cut by Tully. And, you know, stay up, belt buckle, wrap up. That was some cut.
He's just so explosive in the backfield. And Chaminade trying to complete the rest of their offense around Tully. Another disconnect, Granito to Park.
Yeah, Park was getting open. It's just, I think Granito didn't have the right, distance on the ball where the route was going to be, and something I can clean up in practice. But Park was open. Park found his way open on the comeback.
So for Chaminade, they'll take on St. John the Baptist next week, and then back here on the Varsity Media Sports Network, taking on St. Anthony's and Kellenberg. And Chaminade last year started 0-2. The score holds, they'll have the second straight year that they finish 0-2. Finished 5-5 though on the upswing, and as fast as a football season goes, it's a long season at that. As Dietrich, gain of 5, and is swarmed.
Good catch by Dietrich. Squeeze that football up, get the yards you can get. You know, people say, oh, 0-2. People shrug off 0-2. Mm-hmm. You know, they use to professional sports where there's so many games played. But if you're playing an 8-9 game season, you're 0-2. 25% of your season, you haven't won yet. You're over. And people may minimize that because we're so used to so many games being played by professional teams. And 2 losses in an 8-9 game season is a lot to start the year. It takes a certain amount of, perseverance from the team and the coach. You have to keep working through it.
The give to Tully, denied. Justin Tilton. Put the capital T in tackle as Tilton drives back Tully.
I called Tilton's name out, I think, something like hours ago in one of the first plays of the game, and here he arrives again from his linebacker spot. Scrape it up, make the play.
Tilton, one of those guys that is the complete package for Paramus Catholic. 4.2 student, someone who's really playing into his own, and someone who the coaching staff has really gotten on to come forward when he tackles, use that momentum, and, that was textbook on the last play.
No doubt.
Hard count by Granito, gets it off on the second. Hutt on 4th down, Tully has enough for a first down.
What's great about that run right there is Tully knew what he needed. He knew where the sticks were, right? And instead of pitter-pattering or maybe trying to, he knew where he had to get to, and it looks like he was going to be short, right? And all of a sudden he dove and got the yardage he needed. That's one skill of a running back is, know the sticks, know where you have to get to, and it's an underrated skill. It's not talked about that much. And he's not too big of a guy, Tully. And he puts his pads down, and he's willing to, he knows he's going to get hit, gets that first down for the Flyers.
5'11", 170, soaking wet. As he'll get a breather on the sideline, and we'll see Peter Gerbasi, the junior from Rockville Center. Granito lets it go to the end zone, touchdown. Brendan Park, the 30-yard hookup. Tyler Granito, his first career varsity touchdown is to Brendan Park, who notches his first of his career, and the Flyers get on the board.
I'm not sure if that was definitely a double move. He was wide open. A mistake in the coverage, which is a double move or a wheel route there.
And a good shoulder fake, too.
Yep, you can definitely see Granito with a little pump fake right there, a little pump and go, and gets them on the double move, and nice touchdown. And that's what we're talking about for the Flyers. Find things to build off of, right? Find plays to build off of. You're not going to win the football game, it looks like, but what can you build off of for when you play next Saturday?
And Tomlinson into the front yard across the street.
Yeah, those neighbors can't be too happy. Can we get a kicker that's not as good as him? It's not strong on the leg and kicking balls into my car, my driveway.
We'll take a quick break here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
High school sports fans, are you following Varsity Media on our YouTube channel? For the best coverage of New York high school sports, make sure you head to youtube.com/varsity media. 3 easy steps. First, hit that like button, and then be sure to subscribe. And finally, tap that yellow bell to be notified of all of our upcoming sportscasts. Thank you for following Varsity Media on YouTube.
Hey sports fans, did you know Varsity Media live stream broadcasts get viewed by college coaches nationwide? Through our announcers' storytelling and insight on your athletes, we can help your players get an edge on college recruiting.
Back here on the Varsity Media Sports Network, Tomlinson to boot it away. And here comes Paramus Catholic. James Deli inside the 10. And gets past the 25-yard line with about 40 seconds left. And we talked about Chaminade getting the good momentum and putting some points on the board and perhaps building some confidence. And, hey, there's still a whole fourth quarter to play. It's not as if Chaminade's punting on this game.
Well, they had a drive in the first half where they got down pretty deep. They had a couple of miscues. They ended up missing a 47-yard field goal, which really had plenty of leg. Just couldn't get between the uprights. And they had a potential scoop and return that got them great field position that was negated by a penalty. So there was some flashes here by the Flyers having to get some things accomplished. And they haven't been able to find the end zone. But now that they're in there, they've scored. Come a little monkey off your back. Nobody wants to be shut out, right? It seems like such failure when you're shut out. But now they can keep playing.
And I think what's good for the offense, too, as Johnson gets driven back, is that they were shut out on offense last week. You know, with 31-7, that it was a scoop and fumble touchdown, so the defense got that done for the Flyers last week. You want to build upon that, and this is the Chaminade offense that's designed to keep opposing defenses on their toes. And with that said, we'll go to the fourth quarter. 33-7 the score. Paramus Catholic is in control in Mineola. You're watching the Battle of the Bridge on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports. Hey Mom and Dad, how about a personalized hype video of your athlete produced by Varsity Media? Cinematic coverage of game action, plus on-camera interviews by our crew set to music will make your son or daughter look like the next superstar. Perfect for social media fame and college recruiting. Don't wait, reach out today. Spots are limited this fall. 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
When it comes to advertising, are you hitting the right audience? Why waste your time with television or a free print publication that's given out at a local deli? Varsity Media has your back. With a following of over 50,000 and a local demographic ranging between the ages of 18 and 54 years old, it's time to get that return on investment. Plus, here's the best part. Your ad lives for... Crew Cologne starts off the fourth quarter with a completion to the far side. That was Nate Constable playing the X wide receiver spot today, and Paul's in his first catch of the afternoon.
Nice work right there, working his way back for that catch from Crew Cologne. I think Chaminade was dialing up a little run blitz right there, just trying to assume they may be trying to run the football here. But third and just about a full 5. We'll see what the Paladins bring here.
On second down, the Paladins go to the draw again. And back to the line of scrimmage.
Good job by the Chaminade defense right there. Third down, holding to 2 yards, and going to force a punt right now. And a much better played, second half of the third quarter, and now into starting the fourth quarter by the Flyers.
One of the few times that the Flyers have been able to stop Xavier Williams. Now 10 carries, 95 yards on the ground. And we'll see our punt. First punt of the second half for Paramus Catholic. As that's John Carroll back to receive. Carroll catches it, gets past midfield, and spun down.
Good job right there by Carroll on the return. Good handle of the ball, good return.
And Mike, with that said, we talk about the gauntlet that Paramus Catholic has coming up. They call it the Double D road trip over the next few weeks. DePaul Catholic and Del Barton back-to-back. Seton Hall Prep, St. Peter's, then Bosco and Bergen back-to-back in a loaded schedule for the Paladins.
That is that's a gauntlet of a schedule right there. I don't care how much talent you have or who your players are. You got to win week in and week out, and the physical game like football, that's a tough road to go.
We saw Del Barton week 0 on the Varsity Media Sports Network, a big win at St. Anthony's. They're coming off a loss to Malvern Prep. First catch by Matt Chaminade, and the gain of 4. But, it was interesting, and it just goes to show the difference between playing across the bridge and playing here, too. Del Barton looked like the 72 Dolphins against St. Anthony's, and then you fall 20-17 against Malvern Prep, and only 31 yards on the ground when they were running up and down the field against St. Anthony's. It's just, at times, it could look like two different worlds.
Sure, absolutely. I think St. Anthony's in their first game had a little trying to figure who their quarterback was and what their line play was going to be, and their line plays improved. Little screen.
And through the hands of Park.
I think they found their quarterback. I think St. Anthony's, in Gary Merrill, the lacrosse star, great lacrosse player. They found their quarterback in him, I think, and their line play they'll coach him up, and if they can stay healthy, they'll improve. I was very impressed by Del Barton's line play. I thought Del Barton on both lines of scrimmage was excellent. Their offensive line was an excellent group, and I thought they really did a good job against St. Anthony's in the first game of the year.
Yeah, and you know what, too? Sometimes the problems solve themselves, right? Peyton Robinson, Gary Merrill battling for the top spot position, unfortunately, and we hope he has a quick recovery, but Robinson out with a broken tibia as this is Gerbasi, shoved out of bounds. After getting the first down, Xavier Williams with the knock.
Great job on the left side of the Chaminade offensive line, taking some good angles and knocking their guys down and getting a kick, and good blocking up front and a good run. And Chaminade's moving the ball right now.
And Paramus sticking with their starters out there. Still 10 minutes to go in the fourth.
Sure, at one point it looked like maybe you'd be able to sub out a little bit if Paramus Catholic, but the Flyers are they didn't get that memo.
Granito darts it, and Park went left. The pass went right. Incomplete.
He was under heavy pressure right there. Good rush and an insert blitz right there. Number 44.
That was Darian Johnson. Yeah.
Yep, he's in his face and made a few plays at the end, right?
Jordan Gaston also has had a good game too. 54 in white and black. Had 15 tackles and a sack a week ago. And it always seems like he's making contact on Granito. Granito zips it over the middle, and it's caught. That's Michael Dietrich for the gain.
Great catch by Dietrich on that low ball. And they were in that almost like that stack. The receivers in a stack formation, and one's gonna go to the corner of the end zone, and one's gonna go on a post. And there he is, makes that catch of the low ball.
So now first and goal for the Flyers. And you're gonna have to imagine, Mike, for the sake of the comeback and time remaining in the quarter, You want to score here or the next play.
Sure, the faster you get in, the more clock you're going to have.
Play action. Granito spins it incomplete in the direction of Battaglia.
Good coverage. Yeah, 2 men on him right there. That wasn't open. Good coverage off the run fake. That boot action.
That was Josh Dalgetty in the vicinity. Dalgetty picking up an offer from Princeton this week. He's got offers along with Fordham, Air Force, Lafayette, and Columbia.
Some good solid offers right there. More probably to come with some continued, good play. So not much time off the clock for Chaminade right there. 9:23 with the clock stop. So from the 7-yard line, see what they can bring here.
Gerbasi in the backfield as Dietrich goes in motion. Granito looking, hole opens up, fires end zone incomplete. Chaminade couldn't make the catch, and Granito gets leveled after the throw.
I would have liked to see Granito run that ball right there. I think we watched the film. He would have said, I could have kept running it. I'm not sure he gets in, but he gets very close.
And that's one of the things about just being inexperienced at quarterback, right? Is the game is just coming so fast to Granito right now.
He as the games wore on, I've been very impressed how much better he's played as the game has wore on. He's made some good decisions, obviously in duress and not easy, and he's made some good decisions, some good throws, and taking care of the football. Two downs here for Chaminade to get 6 points.
3rd and goal from the 7. Gerbasi to the left of Granito, who flips it, end zone, touchdown. He kept his feet in, Peter Braz, the junior. And Chaminade inches that much closer on the 7-yard touchdown catch by Peter Braz.
I don't think Coach Russo is very happy right now. I think they're saying he's short. The man of his stripes obviously right there. So, touchdown Chaminade. Good completion.
So Tomlinson to kick the extra point. But either way, Chaminade not going away, keeping the door open. And Tomlinson, after the botched snap, misses the extra point.
Ball couldn't get put up on the tee real good. He kicked it like off the side of the football.
With that said, let's take another look, and if Braz got his feet in there. As Granito looks, pretty close.
He had the one, looked like the left foot there was kind of in a little bit. And, the other night I did the Smithtown West and Sayville game. And Jack Mallory, great receiver for Smithtown West, came up with a ball in the end zone. They ruled him out of bounds. And then it looked like he caught it, but then they said he was juggling. It's very hard. It's the offensive players have advanced so far throwing the football. And, the officials do this one day a week, right? They get one chance to look at it, no replays, and it's not easy. We're going to give him that left foot, though.
Yeah, I'd imagine so, but that guy's not going to give him the left foot. Greg Russo today, talking to Jimmy Cavallo at halftime, saying that he saw a different Russo this week after the loss, taking out the frustration on Chaminade today in his 2nd year, and now 9:09 away from picking up the 3rd win of the season. And for context, of course, Paramus Catholic, you always think of those power New Jersey schools, only 2 wins a year ago. They'll surpass that today, and by the looks of it, Mike, doesn't look like they're stopping anytime soon.
No, they have a talent to be pretty competitive in the league in Jersey, and that super, I guess that's super divisional group of team that they have there. It looks to be very competitive there. It's a lot of good teams, and it's, small little play here and a play that might be the difference between all of them, right?
So Crew Cologne back out there for the Paladins. And I'd have to imagine you're probably going to get a heavy dose of runs and just try and wind down the clock. Paramus Catholic sitting pretty with a 20-point edge. Last year in the Battle of the Bridges, it was 6-3 in favor of New Jersey. And Paramus Catholic trying to notch one in the W column before they go back over the bridge And Xavier Williams, 2 touchdowns today, and breaks free. Past midfield. Nobody stopping Xavier Williams. One man to beat and drug out of bounds after the big-time run by the future Minuteman.
Nice block by right tackle. Malachi Goodman got his hands on a Chaminade defender, and a little far side action right there. Guy down the field and running the guy a little bit, and
65-yard pickup. And Williams, Mike, when he's in second gear, quickly gets to third and fourth.
he gets to the second level fast, and he's tough to bring down. He runs downhill, and he's powerful.
They give it to Johnson. Jaden Johnson inside the 5 and just a couple of yards short.
There's been some response from the Paladins. Maybe Coach Russo will say this. Well, we should have played a couple of series ago. We couldn't get this going, but they had some great blocking at the point of attack.
And it just goes to show the power of the guys in front, right? And the lineman for
Well, the guy we
Paramus
haven't
Catholic.
mentioned, too, is number 20. I believe it's Chris Bartholomew. He's been doing some great blocking up in there and really done a really good job.
That was Jaden Johnson from 3 yards out.
Got a good kick right there, Bartholomew. And those are the guys that don't score points. They don't get their name in the paper too much, but you don't get the game won without guys like him. Those Swiss, offensive guys have those Swiss Army knife guys who are kind of like a sort of a tight end. Are they a tight end? Are they a hybrid? Are they the old H-back? Are they a fullback? What are they? A sniffer, people call them sometimes. The Swiss Army knife guys are invaluable in the run game. All the different things they can do.
Paladins with a chance to put up another 40 spot. And they do so. 40-13 the score here in Mineola, as Paramus Catholic just continues to roll on here in Mineola.
Well, that's the score right there. But kind of put a little bit of a dash for dreams of Flyer faithful. Maybe they can make a comeback here.
With that said, we mentioned it earlier, but if you are a Long Island football fan or just a Long Island sports fan, Varsity Media will be streaming all the Nassau County semifinal and championship football games this fall. That's public and private, so be sure to watch Varsity Media, your home for New York high school sports.
Great stuff getting those playoffs on.
And only the beginning for Varsity Media. At least I'll say I'm a little biased here.
Let's go, Suffolk County. Let's get it on.
Chaminade on the return. Here's Tully. Has a seam. And knocked down by James Deli. You talk about the efficiency and the disparity, scoring disparity for Paramus Catholic. They've outscored their opponents 138-94. That includes a shutout against Hudson Catholic and keeping a Chaminade offense to just a couple of touchdowns. This defense has stepped up today.
Sure, defense has been a little more stout, certainly more stout than I think it's been in previous games. And against the game opponent, they've done a good job. Kind of, made Chaminade a little bit more one-dimensional. Took some of the run away from him, made him throw the ball. They can't really throw it deep due to the rush and the coverage from the Paladins.
Michael Dietrich, 1 yard gain on the slant.
And most of the time, from a defensive perspective, John, you're not going to lose games when people are beating you with hitches, and if you make tackles. Obviously a missed tackle on a hitch could become a 70-yard play, but hitches and speed outs and underneath shallow routes probably aren't going to beat you, aren't going to win a game if you can rally to the football and make tackles. It's in the passing game when, off of the ability to run the football, you're able to throw the ball deeper off of those run fakes or RPOs, and the ability of the defense to commit more players to the run.
2nd and 9, Granito from the gun. Fires over the middle and another drop, and that's something that's going to be addressed, I'd have to imagine with the offensive coordinator and wide receiving coaches this week. Too many drops for Chaminade today.
Sure, a lot of drops. On that down, I might drop that one too, going across the middle there. I'm not sure who's hanging around from the Paladins to put a big lick on you there, but there have been some drops on some plays that probably do need to be addressed, yes, and that's part of the quarterback having good numbers, right? The receivers got to come through. You say all the time, the quarterback's going to throw some really good balls, and it's going to make it easy for you to catch. And then sometimes he's not going to throw some great balls. The nature of quarterbacking, it's hard, and you got to make him look better by catching those.
There's Dietrich, makes the catch there, and then eludes a few tacklers. Athletic play by Michael Dietrich.
Good run after catch by Dietrich, right? That's good to see right there. Taking a short play and making a little more out of it, getting the first down.
So that'll move the chains for Dietrich and the Flyers. 6:50 and rolling.
See if the Flyers can finish this drive off and get another score on the board. Be great for their confidence heading into St. John the Baptist game next week.
And some movement before the snap. And that'll move the Flyers back.
Interesting to see here if the Paramus Catholic get a stop, if they'll bring the starting offense back out and they're 40 points again. The Paramus right there at that 40-point mark again, or they have some other secondary players getting the game to play a little offense. We'll see. Interesting to see what happens.
I'd imagine they'd empty the bench at some point as Granito going deep, double coverage, and way overshoots his target in Dietrich. Good double team up the field by Jalen Harrell, as well as Xavier Williams.
Solid coverage down the field by the Paladins and not open.
When you were a football coach or even now on lacrosse, do you ever have track athletes, the multiple sport athletes, or in your time?
Sure, I mean, absolutely. There's no substitute for speed, right? Coaching is size and speed are two things that you can't coach. If you're big and strong, or you're fast, or those attributes, you can improve upon them through training and stuff. But fast athletes are special athletes.
And Tully up the gut. And I think the difference with Massey, and you see Deli also on the track team, Xavier Williams, it looks like they could let her in both sports and maybe play at the next level in both sports, but football players first and using track to their advantage.
Sure, track's a good way to train football in the off season. If you're not someone that's played baseball or lacrosse and that much in your life, but something else to do is track, and you can do a heavy dose of sprinting and get in the weight room and lift, and that's all part of it. It's cross training.
I'll tell you what, though, those are long days, those meet days. They never end. Granito on 3rd and 9. Flips it far side. He's got a man. It's John Carroll, and they'll say he was down. Carroll could have ran for days, but he hauls it in.
1 second you thought it was about to get intercepted, right? But at the last second, Carroll makes the play. It's like you had number 2 Xavier Williams there, right?
Yeah.
Playing both ways.
Yeah, Williams plays both ways, and like we mentioned, a lot of depth, but the players that are playing on both sides of the ball, Russo does a good job rotating them, and he really gets every last ounce out of them.
Yeah, it's just amazing that you have some schools where, especially in the private school football, where a lot of kids play one way with bigger rosters, and some guys will go their whole career and maybe never play offense or play defense, right, since they were very little.
1st and 10 from the 24. Far side, bounced out of the hands of Dietrich. Took his eye off the ball, and an incompletion sets up 2nd and 10.
I think Dietrich was trying to trap that ball a little bit with his body rather than just framing it up with his hands a little bit, and he'll want to have that back. But I really like the play by Granito right there, of stepping up and then finding him open and understanding the routes and where your receivers are going to be. And he's just gotten better in this game. This game's been big for him.
So if any consolation, it stops the clock. But just looking at Chaminade and trying to get on the board and just keep this going. Of course, the first step is get on the board, then recover an onside kick and do all the hard work.
Might be offsides again.
Yeah.
You know, like in a game like this, when there's a 27-point lead by the Paladins, it doesn't seem like a big foul, but vis-a-vis the habits that you form, that when you get in games that are tied or tight games, those 5 yards there are going to be big, you know.
It's absolutely premium, especially the way that the Paladins, like we saw, rally to the football, gang tackle, and don't make it easy, and they do a good job covering in the secondary. Flipped over the middle. There's Dietrich's nice catch. And a pickup of 10.
I like that right there. It was a little RPO action, and they get the ball to Dietrich. And if they had certainly had good numbers, 4 of the 3 and 2 of the 1 against the receivers. The box was a little light, so off the run fake, they throw it in there. Dietrich, good looking play by the Flyers. 1st and goal.
And Granito back to the huddle, and time not on the side of the Flyers. They got to go. Two receivers up top. And Gerbasi with Battaglia the sniffer, but nowhere to go as Pena and Tilton sniff out the run and drive back Mr. Gerbasi.
Yep, Battaglia right there, like locking the box there a little bit. Little lock zone run right there.
So now Granito back to the huddle, and, just pretty simple here, Mike. Just Chaminade has got to get into the end zone, find a receiver, perhaps build some confidence for next week.
Might be able to slip a run in here, depending on what they're coming on the inside blitz there. Yep, that one's going to be on Chaminade. False start. Flinching a little bit as those guys, the blitz starts walking up and creeping up, right?
Set up 2nd and goal from the 15 now.
You know, we've talked about these reps being valuable for Chaminade trying to improve. The reps are also valuable for, for Paramus Catholic here and getting reps down by the goal line or in certain situations and getting better at situational football. Because within the game, there's certainly situations you have to improve upon or understand only through playing them live.
Granito fires. He's got Battaglia. And he gets the pickup. Tilton and Adrian Lang, future Temple Owl.
Not much gain there for Battaglia. Good defense from Paladins.
Just what a job by Paramus Catholic to come on the road, especially after a tough loss to one of your conference rivals, and just take out your frustration on Chaminade. And that's probably the time that you never want to face a team, right? After a tough, heartbreaking loss. Granito over the middle. He's got Dietrich. Touchdown.
Great double move by Dietrich right there. A little head and shoulders fake to the outside. Gets it back to the inside. And that's just what you just can't do. You can't give the post up. You can't give the inside up on those routes down by the goal line. And great job by Dietrich right there. Selling the outside, coming back to the inside. Shoulder and head fake. One step back in. Touchdown.
It's a 10-yard strike. First career varsity touchdown for Michael Dietrich. And now Chaminade keeping Granito out there to go for 2.
If they mix that extra point, they had the extra point before, they had trouble with that, so they're gonna try to go for 2 here and bring it to 40-21.
Granito the rollout. Throws into double coverage, incomplete. So the 2-point conversion unsuccessful.
See, Joe, like that's an example of the touchdown play, right? That where Paramus Catholic can go back and watch the film with the team and talk about, defensively, pre-snap alignment, where you align, take the inside away, don't buy the outside fake, you come back inside. Those little details in a game that, Paramus is they're gonna get on the bus as a winner here today. But meanwhile, maybe in a game later in the season, when they're playing like St. Peter's or Seton Hall Prep in a tight game, those details, those alignment details are going to matter defensively a lot. So it looks like Paramus will get one more shot at it here.
Well, I'd imagine that they're probably just, wherever the field position is, just continue to run it down the clock and get through it. And get everybody on the bus healthy and enjoy the long ride back to Jersey.
There'll be a little more traffic going home, I think, today than there was coming here. Time of the day.
Well, with Rosh Hashanah, the public schools are not playing today. That's why they played during the middle of the week. So maybe traffic opens up a little bit. I'm not going to be an expert. I have parents that live in Jersey. It's the longest commute ever. I get it.
Hit that Waze button.
Yeah.
I'll tell you which way to go. School bus, though, is a little more limited. So those coach bus are a little more limited.
There's nothing better than on Waze it taking you all around the mulberry bush to save 2 minutes. You would think like, okay, I'll change the route if it's more than 5 minutes or so, but either way.
We all live by the algorithm.
Yep. Well, how about the algorithm working for that guy? Xavier Williams, a couple of touchdowns in the first half. He was exceptional. And a big reason for Paramus Catholic's win today. On the handoff, here come the Paladins. This is Dash Davis dashing into Flyers territory before being shoved out of bounds.
See, if your name is Dash Davis, you better be fast.
It got to be.
And there he was. He was dashing right there. That's a great nickname right there. Oh, we got a flag? We have a flag?
Oh, that's a backbreaker, especially for Mr. Davis.
Instead of it being a dash, it's turning into a dash.
Yeah.
On the play sheet right there. I really enjoy doing these broadcasts, but when the secondary players get a chance to get in the game and make plays, and those guys come every day and work hard practice, and maybe they're on like one special or they get a rep occasionally here and there in game, but now they've had a chance to shine a little bit. You're excited to see them play.
And the backup quarterback now in, Gabriel Miles, the sophomore. Looking to manage the clock and get Paramus out of here with a victory.
Give it a dash.
I mean, that's probably where he's going. Low snap, he'll hold on to it himself. Eludes the first tackler and Jack Highland, and then is swallowed up.
Looks like Chaminade's got a couple of secondary defensive players in there as well, which is great for them to get some reps in the game.
Well, Jack Highland, his brother's a legacy. Ryan Highland, class of 2019. Getting some playing time. Also saw Sean Burmis, the junior, in there on the tackle.
So I think, most people coming into the game would have said that the Paladins would have been favored, that Paramus Catholic would be the favorite in the team, and they have owned up to the building and they've won the game. But I think Chaminade's got some stuff to build on right here, right? A little more than they had last week against Iona Prep. And certainly, they made some plays defensively. They ran around and got to the football. Paramus has some skilled playmakers making some big plays. But, if you take the block punt out of it for a touchdown, the scoop and score, you're at 33-19. And, those are things when you're Chaminade, you look at, you kind of build from.
Yeah, 100% as Paramus Catholic holds on to win it. 40-19, they come to Mineola and pick up their third victory of the year, the most wins they've had in a season since 2019. Greg Russo's squad with the victory over Chaminade. Xavier Williams with a pair of touchdowns. Makai Moore on that punt block. Kenyon Massey, Jaden Johnson, and James Deli all find the back of the end zone for the Paladins. We'll step aside. When we come back, we'll recap the action all here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
At Catholic Health, when we see our island, we see a region that lives, feels, and pulses with energy. But before it all, we see you, because it's your lives that breathe life into this island. At Catholic Health, we're able to provide the highest quality, most innovative care for your body, because our culture cherishes your humanity. Long live Long Island.
When it comes to advertising, are you hitting the right audience? Why waste your time with television or a free print publication that's given out at a local deli? Varsity Media has your back. With a following of over 50,000 and a local demographic ranging between the ages of 18 and 54 years old, it's time to get that return on investment. Plus, here's the best part. Your ad lives forever on our YouTube page. And with a large on-demand audience, it's a grand slam to advertise with Varsity Media.
At Catholic Health, when we see our island, we see a region that lives, feels, and pulses with energy. But before it all, we see you, because it's your lives that breathe life into this island. At Catholic Health, we're able to provide the highest quality, most innovative care for your body, because our culture cherishes your humanity. Long live Long Island.
When it comes to advertising, are you hitting the right audience? Why waste your time with television or a free print publication that's given out at a local deli? Varsity Media has your back. With a following of over 50,000 and a local demographic ranging between the ages of 18 and 54 years old, it's time to get that return on investment. Plus, here's the best part. Your ad lives forever on our YouTube page. And with a large on-demand audience, it's a grand slam to advertise with Varsity Media. Big road win for the Paladins. They pick up their third win of the year to improve to 3-1. And today they were led by a plethora of weapons. And with that said, it's time for our Speed Island play of the game. And this one goes to the Paladins and their track star, James Deli, 55 yards. Catch and run to the house.
Big run by Deli. Just talk about speed. Just running away from his defender, right? Able to cover him on that long route. And 1,001, 1,002, 1,003, 1,004 was wide open. Definitely the speedy play of the day.
So Paramus Catholic, like we mentioned, winning 3 of their first 4 games. Chaminade falls to 0-2. That's going to do it for our broadcast here in Mineola. We're next back on air Friday night as the St. Anthony's Friars welcome the Iona Prep Gales right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. But for our entire crew, our executive producer, Ben Turchin, AJ Nieves, along with Ron Pierre, behind the 1s and 2s, Travis DeLuise and Hamash Badu. For my partner, Mike Hungerford, this is John Perez saying so long from Mineola. This has been a Varsity Media production.